Hi everybody, it's Mark again. It's the 31st of December 2023. I hope that everybody 2024 finds them with many blessings, both health-wise, wealth, love, joy, happiness, etc. They say whatever you do on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, you'll be doing for the rest of the year. I truly believe that. And so I'm going to start working on some clocks. I'm trying to go fishing with my two youngest children tomorrow. I want to be able to see my children more. So that's why I try to always do something with them on New Year's Day. But when I get back, I'll continue working on clocks if I'm feeling okay. So we'll show you what we're going to try to work on. Again, I hope everybody 2024 finds themselves more blessed than 2023 ever was. So happy New Year's to everybody. We're going to start by working on this clock right here. It looks like a Lux clock. However, when you turn it over, it says patent pending. So I'm not seeing Lux on it. I'm going to have to get on Dan and Diana's webpage and research that clock. And that clock shouldn't take that long to do. And when I'm done with that clock, I'm going to work on this clock. I bought this clock here a while back when I was visiting my friend. He had a doctor's appointment, so I went and looked at this clock. It is a musical cuckoo clock. Let me get you some measurements on it. Without the topper on, it measures 20.5 inches long and 14.25 inch wide. Here's the topper. It is missing an antler. But you add another 13 inches for the topper. After the hunt musical cuckoo hunter's clock, and with count wheel type movement on it. And all it says is made in Germany. I can't, I posted the video about me repairing the Schmeckenbecker cuckoo quail clock. Well, I can't finish it. I gotta wait for parts. I ordered parts, and then I showed people how to order the parts in Time Savers. And I had one comment saying, I was hoping to see you repair that clock, but yet all you did was show people how to order parts. It says in the title, part 1, and then repair, it says in the title, repairing a Schmeckenbecker cuckoo quail clock, part 1, and ordering parts from Time Savers. That should have gave you a clue. Anyway, we're going to get started. This clock has got some decorative weights on it. And it's missing a pendulum bob. I see that right now. But the weights are decorative. First thing that you want to do is take plenty of pictures all the way around. And verify those pictures are good. Now I have a live video, or not a live video, but a video going on here, and so I would suggest that you take a video as you go. That way you can watch the video, because not the pictures don't always show you what you need to see. First thing I need to do is take the hands off. There's a nut right here on the hands to take off. You take that nut off, put it in your container, take the minute hand off. There's a washer between the minute hand and the hour hand, and this is a round washer. It should be probably a square washer, I'm not for sure. And then the hour hand should come off. And some of these novelty clocks like this, the hour hand has trouble coming off. You could get away with taking the face off, and the hour hand stays with the face. So there's 4 screws right here. I'm going to change out my screwdriver bit and take those 4 screws out. There's also 2 screws on the back, but I want to take the base off first. This is a single time only clock. It might be an 8-day clock. Again, when I search Dan and Diana's webpage to see if this is a Lux clock, I will find out then. But right now, I'm not worried about it. I got my ultrasonic cleaner turned on. 35 degrees Celsius is what I have the heat on. So it's warming up. There we go. Just trying to get the screws out, because they didn't want to come out that well. And the hour hand is stuck on. The hour hand is pressure fitted on, and the bird doesn't move. This is just Syracuse basing, and that's why I'm thinking this is a Lux clock. So now I have to take the movement out, and you do that with the 2 screws in the back. Now let me get a hand, a winder, and I'm going to wind this thing up to see if it starts ticking, to see how much we have to go through on this movement. You always want to see what is going on with your movement. That's enough right there. See if it ticks away. It tries to tick. The pendulum leader wire tries to tick. It should be doing that number right there. Again, I don't have a pendulum bob on it. It tries to do it, but so that tells me that the movement is dirty. So we're going to take the movement out and take the movement apart and clean it. Two screws. once you get that first screw out, you're going to want to hold the movement toward the metal housing. That way you can take the screw out. Now I'm going to take the pendulum leader off. By opening this section up right here. Just like in a cuckoo clock. Except for I need to put on some eyes, so stand by. And once you open that up, you pull the pendulum leader straight up and you work it and it'll come out that hole. So now I need to wind the spring all the way up. Put a zip tie around the spring and then release the spring and the zip tie. It's a lot easier to use a good zip tie, a heavy-duty zip tie, than a wire or the C-clamps or whatever. But when you put this zip tie around the spring, you want to make sure it only catches the spring itself and nothing else. And these zip ties can be used again and again and again, but they're cheap enough, so if you don't want to reuse them, you can just cut them and use a different zip tie. So now that I got the zip tie in, I want to release the spring and the zip tie. So instead of using this key, I need to get my letdown key, so stand by. Now, if you don't have a professional built letdown key, you can make a letdown key, and I have a video that shows you how to do it. You choose a key, you put it on there, you put this on, and you would do the same thing as a professional letdown key. This is the first time since I didn't buy this. I bought a box at an auction and it had it in it. And this is the first time that I've been able to use this letdown key. You wind up the spring a little bit and you move the click out of the way. This is a round movement and I'm having trouble getting. Once you move the click out of the way, you let go of the spring in your hand using the letdown key. Until all the power is released into the spring and you can move the click away from the ratchet. So now I can safely take this movement apart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the virgin crutch assembly off first. There's 2 screws, and my screwdriver is magnetic, so you take the 2 screws off and you'll be able to take the virgin crutch assembly out. But you'll have to adjust the virgin crutch assembly, this post most of the time you have to adjust it, because typically there's one hole that is oblonged, and I'm not seeing that hole. So this might be the type that you can't adjust. I'm trying to see if the screws will go up and down in these holes. Me doing stuff on camera, trying to look over the cameras, is the most difficult. These holes are not oblong, and this you don't adjust. So this Bird Coo crutch assembly has got a ratcheting system on it. You adjust this. This is supposed to turn on the Bird assembly. It's probably dirty. Anyway, it's getting cleaned. And so the next step is to take these nuts off. You want to make sure you got plenty of pictures. That way you know how to put this thing back together. And hopefully when I take these 4 nuts off, that we will be able to see what it looks like with the rear plate taken off. Let me get a movement stand. This 2x4 with these holes drilled in it works just great as a movement stand. So now I'm going to very carefully pull the rear plate off. There might be a little bit of power left in the spring, which there is, and as you can see, it's twisting a little bit, but nothing to be afraid of. And so now you can see how to put it all back together. You'd want to take a picture so you can put all these wheels back together. So we're going to put everything. This is the center wheel, minute wheel with minute arbor center wheel, second wheel, escapement wheel. I don't believe this. It had some power left on it. But I'm going to put everything except for the spring in my ultrasonic cleaner. So we'll get back to you. I have it in the ultrasonic cleaner. I got it set at 35 degrees, but it went up to 39 degrees for whatever reason. As you can see, it's in the cleaner. I got it in there for 5 minutes. And these are the ingredients up here. Acetone, Dawn dish detergent, some ammonia, Murphy soap, and the last but not least is Simple Green. I've been using this for a while now, and I showed you the antique A.E. Schmeckenbecker movement the other day. It's still clean, and I worked on that, I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago, maybe a year, and it's still beautiful. Some people are saying that their stuff turns dull the next day. It might be you're not using the proper ingredients. Maybe you went cheap. Um, maybe you're using too much acetone. Acetone, the ammonia will um, um, eat up your stuff. Don't use too much of it. Maybe you're not rinsing it off good enough. Mainspring, I got a pair of leather a glove on, and I'm going to pull this zip tie off while this thing is in my hand. Did you hear that? Now the spring is being released. I have it in my glove, and it's done. Now I can reuse the zip tie. All you have to do is put something in there to release that piece right there that's inside this zip tie. Let me go ahead and do that. I just find something to poke in there. And once you got something small enough to go in there, you can reuse the zip tie. Just trying to do everything on camera. It's too big. I got the thing up, but now the screwdriver is stopping it. There we go. But now I have to push that little piece back. That piece is what catches the zip tie. And if you break it, I got plenty of other zip ties. So anyway, looking at the spring looks fairly good. I'm just going to rub this over it and call it good. As far as the case, you could use whatever you want on this case. Anything is going to work. You can use motor oil on this thing if you want. It'll shine it up a little bit. I just happened to grab the Howard bead and wax, and so that's what I'm going to use. Get a little paintbrush out to spread the stuff around. This little brush right here, little makeup brush maybe, and oil it up. I'm going to continue doing this. You guys don't need to see me do all this, and then we'll get back to you. Looking all better. The reason why I say you can use any type of oil, such as motor oil, if you choose to do so, Syracuse, which is made in Syracuse, New York, is a wood product. it's like plywood. They take a bunch of little bitty shavings of wood and they process it together. You can Google it. I've showed you in other videos the web page on the Cerakote process. And Lux clocks are mainly made out of Cerakote products. And that's why I say I believe this is a Lux clock. Now, people are going to want to know, how do you wind the spring back up without a mainspring winder? Well, this is what you do. You put the minute arbor center wheel in, and then you put the spring in its place, and then you put this together. And once you get it together, and that's going to make sure that you don't have the spring on any place it shouldn't be. Once you get it together, and that's the tricky part, is putting it together. Everything is in place, so I'm going to put a couple of nuts on it, so stand by. I told you wrong. You had to put the second wheel on also. The second wheel is what goes on to the is what catches the minute wheel with center arbor, and it also catches the great wheel. Okay, but now what you do is you put a screwdriver into to catch the grooves on the, I need to get a longer screwdriver, to catch the grooves onto this minute wheel with center arbor. That'll work. And now all you have to do is wind up the clock. If the click is working. But because you put that screwdriver in there, none of the wheels are able to turn. And so you have to make sure that screwdriver stays in there, or it'll come unwound on you. And once you got it tight enough, you put your zip tie back around. And once you got your zip tie back around, and only around the spring, and none of the arbors, you put on a leather glove or a glove, and you pull the screwdriver out, and what is left will release in your hand. So I got my appropriate PP, personal protective equipment on, and I'm just going to pull the screwdriver out, and it will release in my hand. No more power is on. So now I can take the nuts off, take the plate off and put the rest of the parts on. So I'm going to do that now off camera. Now I got it all back together. As you can see, the wheels turn the way they're supposed to turn. They all have end shake. End shake again as front plate to rear plate. Front plate to rear plate. You're supposed to be able to move them up and down from front plate to rear plate. However, my pictures are on this phone that I'm using to record this, and I think I might have the spring in the wrong position. I think it should be over here, and the reason why I say that is because of this rivet. I wasn't paying attention, and that's why I don't work on cars and stuff. I'd have to take a billion pictures to figure something out. So I'm going to download what I have on this camera right now onto my computer so I can edit it later and check out my pictures. Dana Diana's webpage, there are 3 different styles of these clocks. They're all 3 8-day clocks. This one has got a moving bird on it. This one don't have a moving bird on it. It looks the exact same clock. Okay? However, we read it. It says, manufactured by the Lux Manufacturing Company, Waterbury, Connecticut, Baraga C. Keebler Company. The Lux Company also manufactures the exact clock with the Lux name on the back of the can covering the movement. So I'm assuming this is for Keebler, but it doesn't say Keebler on the back. It just says patents applied for. There's no markings whatsoever on the can. So I have a couple of Lux experts in my group. I will ask them. But it was made in 1937, and it's an 8-day. I thought I had the spring on the wrong post. This spring needs to go over here. Will it make a difference? I have no idea, but because it's that way, that's the way I'm going to put it. I turned it around. I got the movement all put back together. I oiled the spring. I oiled the pivot holes. Now it's time to wind this thing up. It is an 8-day clock, so it gets pretty tight and it's wound all the way up. And now it's time to adjust the verge assembly. Like I said, this thing's got a clutch assembly on it. And there you go. The verge assembly looks a little bent to me. I'm going to straighten it out some. And after I put the pendulum leader on and put this thing in the case, it'll require some more adjustments because I don't know whether this thing is perfectly level in the case or what. So let me put it in the case. I got a makeshift pendulum up to it. It's I don't think it's completely straight up and down, but it is ticking. So it's 12 minutes till midnight, and I got this clock done. I went to my neighbor's. They cooked, grilled for me. I had a good time. I came home because my back is bothering me. Sitting at this desk, my back still bothers me, but I can rest and what have you. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up, and may God bless each and every one of you. I'm going to have to order the right pendulum. Obviously, it's not the right pendulum for it. I got this clock from my friend, Ron Rosenkrantz, when I went and helped him repair some of his clocks. He always gives me clocks, so he gave me this clock. Anyway, it didn't cost me anything. It's a nice clock, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. 1927 Lux standby. Sorry, 1937 8-day stationary Bird Coo Co style clock made by again the Lux movement for August Keebler. Or if it was Lux, it would say Lux on the case. It doesn't say Lux on the case, so I'm assuming it's for August Keebler and Company. Leave me some comments. Give me a thumbs up. May God bless each and every one of you in 2024. And Happy New Year's.